Hello there guys, FMU here on the FMScout channel. This video today is just a quick little overview / tutorial on the in-game editor, which is available to purchase on the download section of the game. For those of you who wonder where that is, it's in your little drop down menu, your options menu, and at the bottom you click on that, go to the store and follow the instructions to purchase the in-game editor. Now at FMScout we want to cater for all types of FM game players, those who like doing experiments, those who just want to do the normal playthroughs. Some people like to use the in-game editor to counteract mistakes that are made in the game, such as name changes for clubs and stadiums and all that sort of stuff. And some people just like to mess around on the game, for a bit of a laugh and not cheat as so much, but they like to tailor the game to their own needs. So for those people, that's what this is about. We're going to show you how to use the in-game editor today. So I've just started up a new game with Swansea, and as usual, the stadium's called the Liberty Stadium. So we're going to start with a very basic thing. Your in-game editor will be up here, and if you're on the club page, which we are, you can see here there's several different options that you get here. So if you're going to edit club details, this is where you can change anything to do with the club. It does what it says on the tin. So you can up the reputation, the club's attendance, the minimum attendance, the maximum attendance. You can go in and you can change the finances. So you could go in here and give them, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Give them a lot of money. And it won't let you do. I bet it'll let you do a certain amount, maybe 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See if it'll let us do that. Yes, it will. So they've got $1 billion in the bank, and then you can give yourself $1 billion transfer budget if you wish, and then you can add yourself a sugar daddy any way you want. You can do that, and then so on and so forth with that. And then facilities wise, this is really good. When you're going into a few years in the game and you get a new stadium, and say you're Bognor Regis, you get a new stadium, you think, oh, awesome, they're going to name it after me or something like that, and then they call it the Bognor Stadium, and that's pretty, you're like, or the Bognor Arena or something like that. You could go in here, click that, and say you want it named after you, FMU Stadium. Helps if I can type properly. And then you can change the capacity. You can change the grass surface to the old style or the new style synthetic, non-grass, gravel. You can either have gravel, clay, sand, whatever you want. You can add a roof, undersoil heating. You can change the facilities. So if you've gone into the pre-game editor and made up a club, and then you realise you've cocked up on a few things, you made a bit of a mistake, you can come in here and change things. Like I did one a few years ago, no, it's actually last year, where I put a name in because I created a club, and then I was doing it that we moved stadium after 5 years. I named the stadium and I'd spelt it wrong. I didn't realise at the time, but because that's the reason I first brought the in-game editor, was to change the name of that stadium, and then I used it from then on to change kits, change stadium names, change player names, which I do. I only ever use it for changing names and kits. That's what I use it for personally. It's just very handy to have. But like I say, other people will use it for whatever they want, and we're not here to judge. People use it for however they want to use it at the end of the day. So you can change all of that. And then there's the tactical attributes for the club. So what they're best at, what they're worst at, and all that sort of stuff. The use of a playmaker. Do they use width? What tempo do they use? Do they sit back a lot? All those sort of things. And then another thing I liked as well, I used to use before the dynamic rivalries thing came in, because obviously now you create rivalries with clubs as you go along. It adds to the ones that are already there, but last year's it didn't. So when I was going through the leagues and I was sort of getting into a bit of a rivalry of the club, vying for going up and down and stuff like that, and vying for titles and stuff, it wasn't creating the rivalry it was doing it between me and the manager of the other team, but it wasn't doing it between the two clubs. So I used it to create the rivalry between the two clubs and that sort of thing. And then there's favourite people, which you can add and remove. Apparently I'm in there with 10% already, so that's pretty good. And then dislike people, Again, you can add people that you don't want to ever come to the club again, all that sort of stuff. And you can also change your affiliations, which is, I think that's new. I don't remember that being on there last year. So you can change your affiliations, so you can add teams. You know, if you come in and your board just will not find yourself an affiliate club, which is annoying. If you wanted to, you could go in and add one yourself and tailor it to your needs. You want players on loan, if that's all you want, that's fine. If you want it to have the same board, or use the same facilities, or money help and all that sort of stuff, you can add and remove and stuff as you wish. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So that's as far as the club is concerned. Okay, so if we go into the players, okay, and I don't know, let's just pick a random one. Let's pick Andre Ayew, because we know he's got family and stuff, so that's in the game. So you have all these options here. If they're not at your club, you can just click move to my club and it free transfers them over. If you want to get rid of somebody on a free, or if you update the database with players that have moved clubs and you forget one, and then you're like, oh damn, or a manager, like when I start a new save at the minute, because I haven't updated it yet, I will move like Paul Lambert to Blackburn, Sean Derry to Cambridge. Well, I did before I updated it anyway. If I started a new game, I would do that. It's just much quicker than going into the pre-game editor and doing it there. So you can say move Andre Ayew to Doncaster Rovers if you wish, or something like that. And it's what I use sometimes for experiments. Like when I did the one swapping Ronaldo and Messi over, I just used the in-game editor to swap the two over. Simple as that. You can edit the attributes, which you just click on there and it comes into here. You can change these as you go along. You can change the position of players, the preferred moves. You can change what club they were trained at, what nation they were trained in. You can change all of that sort of stuff. If you just click on Start Editor, you can actually change the attributes on here. You can change the height of players and stuff like that, their happiness, their morale, all the stuff that you want to change. You can even change their nationality, their contracts. There's so much stuff that you can change on there. And the personal details, this is one I use. Now, obviously, I don't know if this has been involved in the game yet. I've not really paid much attention to it. But when you get new gens coming through, the new youth players coming through, sometimes you'll get two players with the same surname in your youth team, but they never seem to be related. Never seems to add the relation dynamic. So to keep that going throughout my long-term saves, sometimes I will go in and make two youth players with the same name brothers, or cousins, or something like that, and then it just keeps that family dynamic going through the game, because otherwise you're going to get to the point where your AUs and people like that are going to retire, and there's going to be no relations like playing football anymore. It's just going to be people whose family don't play football, and it's just not realistic. So I sometimes go in and use it, and when I'm recording my Let's Plays, I will always do it on camera. I'll say, look guys, these two have got the same name, let's make them brothers or cousins or relations of some sort. And people tend to like, because it adds that bit more realism to your save. So that's another thing you can do. And sometimes, you'll get a regen come through, and they will have like sort of lightly tanned skin. But when they're in the 3D match engine, it's really, really dark skin, and it doesn't quite match up. You can now go in, obviously, and change the skin tone as well, which is cool, because it makes it a little bit more realistic. And then, like I say, here you've got the you can add your favourite personnel. So Jordan Ayew, permanent. What's his relation? Is his brother. So you can have father, mother, brother, son, relation, teammate, former teammate, manager, player, backroom staff, youth staff, idol, friend. So you can add those and remove those. Same again with the dislike people. You can add as many of those as you wish. Favourite clubs and stuff like that. Dislike clubs, and whatever languages you want people to be able to speak. Which comes in handy, if you start a new save and you forget to change your language, so you wanted to, but you've started the game now, rather than having to restart it over again and wait for it to load up, you can go to the in-game editor and add the language. But some people consider that cheating, some people don't. It's up to you. I'm not here to judge. Like I keep saying, it's entirely up to you people what you do. There's another thing. There is, when you are going through and you're selecting your squad, your registration for your squad. So we're going through now and doing it, and we've selected everybody, and we're about to head over to the confirm button, and we accidentally right click on it and it unselects somebody. Say we just right clicked on Andre Ayew by accident on there and it unselected him. Okay, and we click continue, submitted it, and then it comes to the match day and poop, Andre Ayew is not registered. You can select here and select always allow squad renovations, registrations anytime, and basically you can go to registrations, register your player, and then you can switch it off again. Again, people would consider that cheating in some aspects, but other aspects it could be a case of, you could look at it, you could justify it, I guess, by saying we submitted the paperwork late. That could be your justification for it. But, like I say, the in-game editor's there to help people in whatever the way they want to. People will judge people for using it, but, people, each to their own is my opinion. There's no right or wrong way to play Football Manager. The right way is the way you like to play it. And as long as, you're not doing anybody else any harm doing it that way. So, knock yourselves out. Do what you want. Have a play around with it. See what you can pull off. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that is really... Oh, that's another one you can do. Say you create a new tactic and the player... Let's just see if we can pick a really random one that they're not good at. No, they seem pretty good at that as well. But anyway, just say this is... Instead of a cut, it's poor or something like that. It's down here. You can click on there. Okay, and this is where you can change the morale of all the players. So you can make all the players superbly happy. And then if we scroll down here, you can see all of the things have gone up. You can also come in and remove all injuries. And that removes all the injuries. You can remove unhappiness. So if there's a player that's unhappy at the squad because they're not doing well in the league, and it's got a little UHP there, click that and it'll disappear. And their unhappiness will go away. And this one here, maximise tactical familiarity, will pop it straight up to fluid on all your tactics straight away. So that's another one. I've used that before in experiments when I have needed to, when it's like Barcelona or something, and you need them to be tactically aware to get the best results from, players being at such and such a club and stuff like that. So I've used that before for experiments and stuff like that. In terms of the kits, last year's was very, very touchy. Don't ever remove a kit. Do not ever click on remove here, because I did that accidentally last season for a save, and I never once was able again to add a kit to the club. Like I think I deleted, it was the away kit I deleted for one of my clubs accidentally, and then I could create a kit like the normal default kits that you can change in the editor, but when I was uploading kits to the game, it wouldn't overwrite that default kit ever again, and it was gutting. But they may have fixed that this year, I'm not sure. I don't really want to risk trying it, but that's a very basic overlook into the in-game editor. I don't want to give it all away because people like to buy these things and have a look at them themselves, but that's how to do some of the basic features you can do. So like I say, you can see here now, look, the FMU stadium and stuff like that. And sometimes you get a youth player with a name that just doesn't match their nationality, where they're from, who they are and stuff like that. If you wish, you could change that. Or you can, if you've got a kid, say you're starting up now, this is your first kid, and you've got a son who's 16, or you go through to the first youth intake window, your son's 16, you can go into the youth player, change his name, change his date of birth, his, where he's from and everything, and then you can make him your son on the game, which is pretty cool. I quite like that aspect of it. It gives a different dynamic to things. But guys, for now I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into much more. This is just like a quick overview with the basics. I think it's a handy tool to have for editing purposes when it comes to names and stuff like that. For those people who want to use it for transfers and stuff like that, for whether it be Whether it just be, you're on an offline save and you want to create the world's greatest team and you just free transfer everybody over, then it's fine for that. It's really good to do that. And it is basically a very good tool that is tailor-made for every type of FM player that is going, whether it just be a simple name change or a complete change of everything, or I want to see if I can win every game this season by using the super fitness, super morale, super tactical awareness thing, whatever. Whatever people want to use it for, that's fine. Like I say, I love using it for the name changes. It is brilliant for name changes. It's great for experiments. They're the things I use it for. But guys, if you want to check it out, download it. I think it was $3.99. I may be wrong. That might not be the exact price. I honestly can't remember. I know at one point I think it was on sale at one point. It was a bit cheaper when it first came out, but I think it might be $3.99 now, but don't take my word for that. Check it out first. And of course, make sure that you read all the info that comes with it if you do decide to purchase it and download it. And guys, just have fun. And as for this video, this is going to be the end now. Please drop a like on it if you've enjoyed it. We're all here because of our love of Football Manager. And if you love Football Manager, we want to hear about it in the comments down below. So hit us up with some comments, drop some likes, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also subscribe to my personal channel, which is in the description down below. And for now, guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure being in your face. Bye-bye.